Welcome back to the channel, as it's been a while. So now that the river course season has come to a close until June the 16th, I thought I'd put together a quick selection of clips showing that you don't always catch the target species of barbel and chub. So I hope you enjoy this little compilation. And there's a take at last. Just about giving up hope as it's late evening. And this feels like a decent enough fish. Perhaps it's a bigger chub than the last two I've had. Certainly pulling strongly. It's definitely not a barbel, but surprise, surprise. It's a bream. I haven't caught a River 7 bream for a long time. And certainly never out of this peg. That was on 3.8mm Robin red pellets. I know it's not the biggest bream in the world. In fact, a lot of people call that a skimmer, but didn't I put up a decent fight for such a small fish, perhaps bordering £2. So at the end of the fishless session, whilst targeting barbel and chub, I've decided to pack up earlier than usual. A bit disappointed so far, although I have had a few rattles on both rods, but nothing materialising. So it's probably going to be a blank session. Just give it a few more minutes maybe. So about 5 minutes later and it's rapidly turning dark. And that's it, I think. Retrieve the upstream rod first. Leave the downstream rod in still with a piece of meat on. I've got Robin red pellets on the upstream rod. And it's been very disappointing. Full of hope to start with, of course, but it's not to be by the looks of things. Still not really paying much attention. Keep checking the rod. Throw the pellets away, and there's a knock on the downstream rod, and yeah, that's a definite bite. And there's a fish on. Well, would you believe that? Right at the death. Well, it's definitely not a barbel, and if it's a chub, it's only a small one. And I don't think it's even a chub. It's not fighting very strongly. No, it's a grayling. Well, would you believe that? A grayling on a piece of meat. That's never happened before. Just unhooking it. Quick show to the camera. Yeah, definitely a grayling, so we know graylings. Who'd have thought that? Anyway, no blank after all, eh? Just give it a rest before releasing it. because they do tend to go belly up after they've been caught. So I'll leave it for a bit longer, make sure it's fully recovered before I let it go. And that's it. Away it goes. And some little twitches on the left hand rod. Probably small chublets or possibly minnows, but no, that's a little bit more than a minnow. It's definitely something interested, but we'll wait for the bite to develop if it does. Yeah, there's definitely something there, and we're into something. I don't know what this is, quite unusual. It's coming in quite easily and making strange lunges, and I've caught a sight of it, and it's an eel. Not the intended target, but I suppose it avoids a blank. Don't really like catching these, so we don't really want to touch this, so we'll look to release it as quickly as possible. There's a bite. Strike into that. There's a fish on. It's not a barbel, but could be a small chub, or even a roach, I suppose. Some decent roach in this stretch. Yeah, it's a roach. I'll get it in the net. It's not a bad size, that. Obviously not what I was after, but every fish is welcome, especially on rivers. Quick show to the camera. Plop it back. Away it goes. And there's a little rattle on the downstream rod. I think there's a fish on. Yeah. Into a fish. And I've just caught a glimpse of it, and it's a bream. I wasn't expecting that, to be honest, but it'll do. Avoids a blank. Still hasn't given up. Get it in the net. Reasonable size by the looks of things in the net. Just leave it in there for a bit. And there's a River 7 bream, 2.5 pound maybe, even a bit more. Plop it back in the river for a bit. Push it further out. A little bit deeper water. As soon as it rights itself. Yeah. Kicking strongly. And let it go. Oh, there it goes. Well, thanks so much for watching, because I really do appreciate your view and support, and we can all look forward to the start of the new season come June the 16th, and maybe I'll bump into you on the bank sometime.